Yo, make sure to drop a like down below, man. Try to hit 500 likes on this video. Shout out to all my loyal subs. And also, let me know in the comments one thing you want to see in 2K19. If you could pick one thing to be in NBA 2K19, what would it be? Anyway, let's get right into the video. Hey, before the video starts, I want to give a big shout out to Dollar Shave Club for sponsoring this video. I know a lot of you guys have gotten to the age where, you know, you got to start cleaning up. Your boy has got to clean up too. Dollar Shave Club has all of your grooming needs, you know, toothpaste, body wash, razors, shipped right to your house, so you don't even have to go to the store. And for a limited time, Dollar Shave Club is basically giving away their new starter set to members for only $5, which includes their executive razor and 3 trial size versions of their most popular products that will help you stay, you know, fresh and clean. Your first box will include their shave butter, body wash, and 1 wipe Charles butt wipes. You'll also receive their executive razor with a premium weighty handle and a full cassette of cartridges, and after the first month, replacement cartridges are sent for only a few bucks a month. This $5 offer is exclusively available at dollarshaveclub.com/PeterMc. That's dollarshaveclub.com/PeterMc. Link is at the top of the description. Anyway, let's get right into the video. Yo, what's good, guys? Peter here. We are back with another video, and today, guys, I have got the ultimate 2K19 wish list. This list is so long. There are so many dope things on this list where even if 2K just put some of them in 2K19, it would be honestly the best 2K ever. Also, I was going to make sort of like 2 videos, one a 2K18 rant and one this video, this 2K19 wishlist, but I thought, why not just combine it into one, be a little bit more positive. All those things that are broken and need to be fixed in 2K18, just turn them into things that 2K could improve in 2K19. So if you haven't already, make sure to drop a like down below, man. Try to hit 500 likes on this video. Like I said, so many dope things on this list. Anyway, let's get right into it. So like I said, there's a lot of things on this list. Like I have like this whole Google Doc. It took me a really long time to make, so I'm not going to talk about one thing for too long just because there's so many things on this list. But the most important part of any video game is gameplay, so that's what we're starting off with. And the most important part of the gameplay I feel like 2K18 really lacked was skill gap. 2K18 had by far the worst skill gap out of any recent 2K, and a skill gap is a big part of what makes a game good. You know, you got to reward your good players, because most of the time the good players are the players that play the most, and if they feel like people that barely play the game are getting rewarded, they're not going to want to spend so much time playing the game getting better at it. So 2K definitely needs to increase the skill cap a lot for 2K19, because personally when I play Park, it's not those people with 90 win percentages I worry about. It's those slashers, those bums that just hop on and get bailed out, dude. I don't know why I feel like I lose to them more, but it's just how this year is. So 2K definitely needs to fix skill gap in 2K19. And sort of going along with that, there are some little things, you know, less animation based. 2K18 way too animation based. I feel like I barely have control over my player. You know, when 2K says, oh yeah, we added hundreds of animations, we put them into this game, I would think that's a good thing. But when you turn it into not what animation you're making your player do, but what animation 2K's making your player do, that makes the game a lot worse. New movement system in 2K19. I don't know what it was about the 2K18 movement system. I know a lot of people agree with me, but this year's movement system was way worse. Like 2K15, 2K16, 2K17 all had way better movement systems. I consistently hear people say, oh, that's a steal, just because people are always dribbling into other people's bodies. And overall, I feel like I have way less control over my player. It's way less responsive. Definitely need a new movement system into 2K19. Honestly, you can put the old movement system in. I'd be fine with that. Next thing, no blow-bys and snatchbacks. Honestly, I think that's the #1 worst thing about 2K18's gameplay. When you go to the park, all you see people do is get slashers and get blow-by animations and get contested layup animations, or people dribbling up the court doing a snatchback. Even though you're guarding it perfectly, they'll make it. Way too overpowered. That's why everybody just runs 5 out in the 2K league. Definitely should have toned it down way earlier in the year, but that really needs to be fixed in 2K19. And a lot of these do go along with skill gap. You know, that really did reduce the skill gap as well. Next thing, game chat for both teams. I don't know why 2K took it out for 2K18. Like, I literally hopped on 2K17 a couple days ago, literally was just talking to subs in game chat, you know, trash talking or just talking about YouTube, stuff like that. You know, it was a really cool feature. I don't know why 2K took it out. I definitely think they need to add that back into 2K. And that reminds me of what Ronnie 2K said. So basically, if you guys didn't know, Ronnie 2K was talking about Twitter on something. I don't know if I'll be able to find the tweet, but basically somebody was talking about how they keep taking out features and blah blah blah, and he was like, oh, but well, we added this whole new neighborhood thing. This is the thing, 2K. When you add all this new stuff in the game that you spend so much time on, if you take just as much or if not more stuff out, it doesn't really mean anything. And it's not even like you have to redo the whole thing. It's like it's always there, like that game chat feature, always there, mascots always there. You literally just had to recycle them. But when you take all of those features that people like out, people aren't going to appreciate this whole neighborhood thing and all this stuff that you do put into the game just because they're focusing on what you took out. Next thing, 2K19 needs to chill with the delay. I am delayed on 2K way more than any other game. I don't know what it is, just the servers are trash. Also, they should give us like a ping number. If you guys don't know what ping is, it's like how many milliseconds you're delayed. So that would be cool to see as well, just to see like how delayed I really am, because sometimes I feel like 1 or 2 seconds delayed, which is just crazy. Also, if there is a delay, make it consistent. Like I'll be halfway through a game, I'll be like way more delayed than I was the first possession. I don't know what it is, definitely have to fix that as well. And also, speaking of delayed, not as much choppiness. 2K18 was so choppy. Like if you have people around your court, it's like so unplayable. You're like 5 frames per second. People have already spent enough money on the game, like 60 bucks for the game, 50 bucks for EC. Now you're making people spend 400 bucks on a PS4 Pro. Like what? Chill with the choppiness. I know you guys are making a ton of money. At least make the game playable. Next thing, the game is way too easy. Look at how long it takes to get like extremely good at Fortnite. It barely takes any time to get good at 2K this year. And that does come with the skill gap thing. I think people should have to consistently play the game to be really good at it. I feel like if you have that basketball IQ and just general knowledge of basketball and how to play 2K, you should be good, but you shouldn't be amazing unless you're consistently playing the game. Also, that does encourage people to play 2K more. Next thing, the teammate grade system is absolutely terrible. There are so many things wrong with it. I'm glad that's not what determines your rep anymore, but I get leave assignment for playing help defense. I can't hold the ball for more than 5 seconds without getting hold ball too long, and then I automatically miss the shot. I can score all of the team's points and get a D+. Fix the teammate grade system. 2K19 definitely needs to have a better dribbling system than 2K18, somewhat like 2K17, just without all the spamming. And to go along with that, they really need to make their defense better. Like 2K16's defense was amazing. Like I felt like I really got rewarded for playing good defense. Ever since then, it's really just kind of gone downhill. So hopefully 2K19 really makes the defense better. A lot of these things are just things that were in previous 2Ks that 2K took out. Like the defense system, amazing in 2K16. Hopefully they bring it back. And to kind of go along with that, reduce the ankle breaker animation. So many of these 99s or pure playmakers or whatever, they'll literally just ISO, get an ankle breaker animation. At that point, your defense is broken. I understand you grinded for the badge, but they really have to tone that down. Way too overpowered. This next one is important. Ban people who cheat. Literally, stage is dead now, especially if you're a YouTuber, because everybody will just try to lag switch you or hack you, and it's literally unplayable. And it's only a select few people who do it, but you just left the game out to dry. Like you just want your game to be unplayable. Ban people who cheat. And that really just comes down to being involved with the community. You know, 2K really has to get more involved with the community, because if they were, they would know that people were, who knows, do they even know that people are hacking people? It's like us, the 2K community, and 2K, and they're just over here, they don't even know what's going on, you know what I mean? I hate to keep going back to Fortnite, but way different than Fortnite. You know, Fortnite's extremely involved with their community. Okay, this next one is pretty obvious. Stop nerfing jump shots. Literally, you couldn't have a good jump shot. If you were to spend hours finding a good jump shot and you put it on YouTube, it would get patched within like a week, especially when the game first came out. So I feel like 2K just needs to stop nerfing jump shots, because the difference between an okay jump shot and a good jump shot is a huge difference, and 2K just keeps nerfing them. I think it should just be more about timing. Fix the 3v3 my court camera. Do I even have to say more? Have you played 3v3 my court this year? Also, make the my court bigger. The 2K15 sort of my court was a 5v5 full court. Why can't we do that in 2K19, man? That'd be dope. So as you can tell, we're starting to get into some really dope features. Hopefully they come to 2K19. Next thing, theater mode. It's kind of like how they have instant replay when you play quick games and stuff like that, my career. But imagine if they had that for the park. Imagine the angles you could get. Imagine all the clips. It would be awesome. Fortnite added it. 2K, I know you can too, yo. That would be so dope. Speaking of cameras, stop changing my controller settings to camera relative. Like, I want to play on absolute. Every time I get on 2K, it's like, oh, they put me on camera relative again, even though I switch it back to absolute. Like, it just doesn't save. Mike Wayne even did a poll, and it was like 88% absolute. Nobody plays on camera relative. Why would you even change it back? Now, on to the last things about the gameplay, you know, the biggest part of 2K19. Fix the layup system. There's way too many missed wide open layups in 2K19, and you shouldn't time your layup if there's no layup meter. I like the layup meter because it did increase the skill gap, but if they're gonna make you time your layup next year, please put a layup meter into the game. And then the last two things, don't put park cards back into the game. Thank you for taking them out in 2K18. And don't try to make the game arcade and simulation at the same time. They kind of do that and they mess up a lot. I feel like the Pro-Am should be the more simulation competitive, park should be the arcade, but that still has a skill gap at the same time. Alright, so that's it for the gameplay part, probably the longest part of the list, but now we're getting into the archetype system. Now honestly, I think 2K18 had a good archetype system, but it wasn't executed correctly. The gameplay just did not complement the archetype system, but I think 2K should keep the same archetype system in 2K19. If they were to follow the trend that they're going right now, we would have like 3 archetypes in one. I feel like that's way too much. We already have more than 100 combinations. That's one of the reasons why I spent so much time talking about gameplay, because it really does come down to that. So I don't want 2K to make any unnecessary changes to the archetype system. Keep it how it is, just fix the gameplay. Bring back badge progress. I really like that. You can know how close you were to getting a badge. I loved how you could grind for badges in Park and My Career and Pro-Am. The only thing is the negative badge progress. That was stupid. I don't even know how that actually happened. Now in terms of upgrading your player, tone down the VC. 2K is a huge pay-to-play game, and you might think, oh yeah, 2K is gonna make a lot of money off of that, but you have games like Fortnite where it's literally not pay-to-play at all. Everything that you can buy in the game is just cosmetic. My player is about 180 to 190k VC to get from 60 overall to 85 overall, and then an extra like 10k plus VC for animation. So that's 200k, that's $50. You should not have to spend $60 on the game plus $50 for VC just to make your player okay. You gotta think, on top of that, you gotta grind on all the badges. You still don't have all your attributes maxed. Like, I think it's just stupid. VC should just be used for like cosmetic stuff, you know, clothes, accessories, mascots, all this new content you add in the game. Like, 2K will still make a lot of money if they just give people stuff to buy with the VC, aka new content. I saw a comment in the 2K League chat, I don't know if I have it saved, but somebody was like, I've been considering buying 2K18, but somebody told me that you have to spend like over $100 combined to just make your player good. So is that true? It draws people away from the game. Like, 2K has gone extremely overboard with the VC and the whole archetype and upgrading your player and all that. And don't even get me started with my team. My team's dead. My team's out the window, but it's just the most pay-to-play mode I've ever seen. That's honestly why nobody plays it anymore. Park badges should be added back into the game. I really liked it. They're exclusive to Park. You had to play a lot of Park to get them. They were unique, and it just gives pure incentive to play Park. That's something that 2K18 really lacked, is just pure incentive to play the game, to play Park, to grind for something. 2K admitted that Park's their most played mode, so why does it seem like they don't want people to play it? Like, I don't know what it is. There's so much more they could do with it. Even if it's something as simple as Park badges, just new Park badges, that'd be dope. And the last thing with the archetype system, you should be able to in some way try new players out before you actually make it and spend all the VC and grind all the badges. It is such a long and tedious process to make a player now. You have to make the player, you can't skip cutscenes, so you wait like 45 minutes even if you quit the games just to make the player. Then you have to spend $50 on VC to upgrade him, and then you have to spend hours and hours grinding badges, and then you can decide if you like that player or not. That's stupid. You should be able to try player builds out. It doesn't even have to be online, so you're able to tell if you'd like it, because a lot of people are just holding back from making new players because it's such a long process, when in reality they would probably really like trying out a post score or a stretch big or whatever they haven't made before. Now we get into the rep system. Again, 2K18 had the worst rep system out of any recent 2K. To be honest, they didn't even have an actual rep system. They tried to mask it with the whole overall thing. They need to just scrap that. First thing, separate the rep system from the overall system, and also make it the same for every player. If I play 500 games with my sharpshooter on this rep, I should be able to get on a whatever glass cleaner and still have the same rep, because that discourages people from making new players. Imagine if somebody is like a 97 overall and they have all these rep rewards, this and that. They're not going to be encouraged to start over a whole new rep grind on a new player. I know this sounds weird, but rewards should be more rewarding. Like, the bicycle should be way faster than somebody doing like the LeVar Ball run, or the skateboard should be way faster than people walking. Next thing, separate Park, Pro-Am, and My Career rep. Now honestly, there shouldn't be a rep system in My Career. That makes no sense. I mean, the fact that people grinded My Career to hit 99 overall this year, that was just so stupid. Again, another reason for people not to play Park. But there could be separate reps for Park and Pro-Am, so Pro-Am players could grind their rep, Park players could grind their rep, stuff like that. That'd be cool. Right now, a big problem with the rep system is that it doesn't represent how good you are at the game. One reason is because you can rep up playing playing against AIs. And then 2, obviously the skill gap, you know, just because you play a lot doesn't mean you're good, just because all these bums will get bailed out, stuff like that. But if they decide to combine park and pro rep kind of like they did in 2K17, it still wouldn't be a good representation of how good someone is, because somebody could be good in pro am because they get carried or whatever, and then they go to the park and they get dropped off. And the whole aspect of grinding should be fun. Like, I've talked to so many 99s, they had to just grind my career and it just wasn't fun for them. They shouldn't be doing something so much that isn't fun. The whole grinding process should be fun. It's a video game. Final 2 things with the rep system: VIPs should not take people off streaks. I don't even know if 2K knows that that's a glitch, because you would think it's easy to take out. They would have taken it out by now. But I feel like they should work on the squad spot, because VIP is kind of useless. You know, you hop on the got next, then you have to hope that you can hop off and go all the way to the squad spot in time before somebody else hops on got next. Last but probably most important, more reps. 2K18 technically had more reps because there was more overalls, but you could kind of boost your way to 85, and then from there was like some reps, and then they didn't even have good rep rewards. The rep rewards need to be way better. That'll come in the content part, which is right after this. But like tigers, jetpacks, mascots, all of that, you can recycle that, but add new things too. I mean, that would make for an awesome 2K. Keep the rep percentage, because I love that. Like, you get to see your percentage, like, oh, I'm this percent to this bar or this overall. And then we just have different names from reps. You've kind of always had the same name since the rep system was introduced. It was like rookie, pro, all-star, legend. Then they switched it to superstar to legend. But yeah, that'd make for an awesome rep system in 2K19. Next, we have content. Content was probably 2K18's biggest issue. They came out with this game and then they kind of just left it out to dry. New content throughout the whole year. You guys see Fortnite. They have like 2 updates every week. Always a new skin, a new pickaxe, new game mode, new addition to the map, a whole new season even. I mean, it's just crazy. We pretty much got 0 new content throughout the whole year of 2K18. Patch notes should actually be accurate. I remember I used to read through the patch notes when it come out and be like, did they really change this? I don't think they actually changed this. There would be things in the patch notes that they didn't change, and there would be things that weren't in the patch notes that they did change without telling us. And then sometimes we wouldn't even get patch notes. Park tournaments. Most played game mode, why not have a tournament once in a while? That'd be so dope if 2K did that. Another cool feature, you guys know how they have like the different kinds of reps, like you have the VIP if you were immortalized, so if you're a celebrity, then you have the 2K developer thing, and then you have like the 99 badge, NBA player badge. It'd be dope if they had something for like YouTubers and streamers, like once you get past like 100K, you get like a badge or like a check mark or something dope. New park events. We got 1 new park event this year. It was Ruffles. A lot of people were saying it was broken and it had the same reward as Mountain Dew, so they need to add a lot more park events to 2K19, not only at the beginning of the year but throughout the year. And then with park events, you should be able to go to any park event at any time, unless it's like a tournament. Like, you should be able to go to stage anytime, high rollers anytime, maybe even house rules every time. And then obviously the tournaments are going to be for a limited time, but now we have what we have. So we technically got 1 new park this year, but it was 1 park, so you're forced to play in all the time. Plus it was super boring, super bland. It was all gray. The 2s courts were all the way over there's nothing special to play. I mean, there's just so many things wrong with having just 1 boring park. 3 new parks, man, not recycled, new parks. The ability to be able to travel was just huge. Like, I didn't think they would ever take something like that out, but they did. Affiliations make a comeback. That was a huge part of 2K. It was awesome. Honestly, they could redo the classic Sunset, Old Town, and Rivet if they like remastered them a little bit, because that whole concept is kind of old. Maybe new logos, something new to them. If not that, then 3 new completely different affiliations. Rivalry needs to make a comeback, and the reward for it should be a new park. Like, I remember the 2K16 race, it was like Sunset and Rivet right here. They're going up. Rivet finally got the new park, and the new park was absolutely amazing. 2K17's rivalry was honestly trash. It was a park event. It was in a recycled park. The park looked ugly. You had these ugly jerseys, and nobody got a new park for it. I think rival day should be every day during the weekend from like a certain time to a certain time, but like a long time. So in all of the regular parks, not a park event, so everybody plays it. I feel like in 2K17 they kind of forced rival day to be a park event because they only had 2 new park events, Mountain Dew and Park After Dark. So they were like, oh, we should just make rival day a park event because that will make it seem like we did more. They should have leaderboards for rival days, so you know, people will try to grind for the top of leaderboards, kind of like Mountain Dew. You should get rewarded for participating. If you get like over a certain amount of wins, you should get high rewards. If you're like top 10 on the leaderboard, you should get a big reward, and if your affiliation wins, you should get another reward. Also, they should let people in different affiliations play during rival day, but it just won't count as like like a rival day win. And then also you should be able to play with people in different affiliations normally. Okay, next thing, stop with all the glitches. There are so many glitches in 2K18 and they ruin it. Whether it's in the gameplay or it's not, they ruin the game. For example, the switch parks without losing rep glitch, the BB glitch, the animation glitch. When you release the game and you leave it out to dry like you did for 2K18, you get all of these glitches in the game that you probably don't even know exist. Again, that comes down to the whole community thing. You've got to be involved with the community. Live up to the hype. I like to call this the boy who cried wolf effect. 2K hypes up their game every year. Hype it up, hype up, hype it up, hype it up. And it seems like they always underperform. Remember 2K17, they were saying, oh, my park trailer, my park trailer. We never got a my park trailer. We just got 3 recycled parks. Okay, well, next year, they hyped it up so much. The whole neighborhood day event, and I don't blame the influencers that they fly out because they barely do stuff like that with them. So they're like, oh, wait, this is my only chance. I have to make sure I get flown out next year, whatever. And 2, they don't really get to experience the whole game. But anyway, 2K18 was the most hyped 2K ever. Everyone was like, oh, yo, 2K17 was an off year. They're finally gonna come back this year. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be this and that. 2K18 had the potential to be a good game. Honestly, I feel like if they added new content into it, so like there wouldn't just be one park, you could go to all these different parks, and if they fixed all the glitches, all the gameplay bugs, this and that, it could have been a good year, but they just haven't lived up to the hype. And that's where we get the whole boy who cried wolf thing. They're gonna hype up the next game, hype up the next game. They hype up 2K19. People are like, I'm not falling for that again. I'm not buying the game, stuff like that. So the neighborhood is cool. It's also pretty much confirmed that we are getting again a sort of neighborhood in 2K19. It's unnecessary, but it is cool. But it has to be functional. It shouldn't take 20 minutes to change clothes. You gotta go all the way to your my court, go up the elevator, you get a cutscene with your doorman, then you get a cutscene when you walk in your my court just to change clothes and walk back out and get another cutscene with your doorman. You shouldn't have to leave the whole park or neighborhood to change your jump shot. Only thing I like about the My Player Lab is that you can create custom jump shots without going all the way to your my court. But it should be like, yo, if I'm in the park, I want to change all my jump shots, all my dribble moves, stuff like that. I should be able to do that on the spot or on a win streak. If I want to change clothes, also on a win streak. If I want to upgrade my player, I should be able to do that on a win streak or on the spot or in a park. Now, if 2K does decide to go with the whole neighborhood thing again, make it separate from the parks. Like I already said, we should have like those 3 parks or whatever, but make it completely separate. I mean, they're already pretty much separate in terms of the servers. They are separate servers, but you can have your neighborhood with all the stores or whatever, and then you can have the 3 parks. So just make them separate. We should earn more VC for every game. It goes down every year. Simple as that. Also, the parks need to be way better. Like I said, this year was super stale and stuff like that. They should be colorful, they should be created, they should make you want to look at it. 2K15 had 3 realistic parks, looked really cool. 2K16 went all in, super creative, had this thing in like a water park on the beach, a hotel, on a roof in a metal factory, in an amusement park. Like, that's honestly crazy. I know they can do stuff like that. Bring that into 2K19. New rep rewards. This year's rep system had a lot more reps, but somehow less rep rewards. Like, they didn't really have anything, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said before, you can bring back all that stuff from previous 2Ks, but add some new stuff, add something we've never seen before. I don't remember the last time we saw something in 2K we'd never seen before, probably like the jetpack or something like that. Rep is what makes people play the game, makes people grind out the game, what makes people buy VC for new players, stuff like that. More and better rep rewards will just make for a better overall game. And back with the whole rep thing, you know, pure incentive to play. 2K sells millions of copies every year. They will sell regardless. They just want to make more money using microtransactions. They've kind of got to as far as they can go with how much they charge for things. Now they just have to have more things you can buy. They really got to stop making the game so much about pay to play. Like, Fortnite is literally the exact opposite. You don't have to go that extreme, but the game blew up for a reason. 2K literally has a monopoly on a basketball game. You know how many people play basketball? You know how many people play video games? Yet there are only like 100,000 people who consistently watch park videos. So when you don't have to spend so much money just to play the game, you expand your audience a lot, and that'll just be great for the game. I mentioned the whole reward thing for the rival day, but it should be like that for pretty much every new park event. Whenever they decide to put in the game, you should get rewarded for playing. You know, that's just more pure incentive to play, and it gets people trying new things. Okay, the custom shirt shop. It was a total disaster this year. They gotta actually make that thing work. There were so many glitches with it. They've gotta execute that way better next year. Also, you should be able to make things like tank tops, hoodies, pants, shorts, joggers, stuff like that. And then the last thing with the content it would be so dope if 2K added a DLC like midway through the year, maybe for like $20. Maybe you would get like 3 more new parks, something like that. Everybody's kind of had that idea, but they've never really done something like that, and they would make a lot of money on that. So that would be awesome. Finally, into some additions to the modes. Private matchmaking on Pro-Am, that's easy. Leaderboard system, I don't know why they took it out. Like in 2K16 you had the 3 leaders of the park, and then you had like leaders for points, leaders for assists, leaders for rebounds, leaders for blocks, stuff like that. Leaderboards are also a big thing that encourage people to grind the game and just play the game more. And if the game is anything like this wish list, I would honestly try to grind for something on the leaderboards. This next one's obvious. Skip cutscenes in my career. Also make the parks more lit. Encourage people to join each other or play against each other, play with each other. It's really discouraging when if there's more than 10 people around your court's gonna lag. And it seems like the parks are a lot less lit this year. Also, the park has to be functional. Like this year's park was like you had the 3 pairs of 3s courts, and then you had the 2s courts way over there. So if you wanted to play 2s, you have to go all the way across the park, and you'd end up waiting for a lot of 2s games. Like, oh my, they gotta make the park spread out like Sunset in 2K16 and 2K17. I know how hard it can be to improve some part of the servers, but right now 80 is the highest number of people that can be in a park at once, and 60 is the cap where if you're loading into a random park, they won't load you in. If you can't increase that to like 100 or something, because I know that can be hard, make it so if somebody's idle in the park for a long time, which means they're just like AFK, kick them out sooner. Like I remember I was standing in a park, I went to go eat dinner, I came back, I was still in a park, it still didn't kick me out. That results in the park being way more dead, people just waiting way too long for games. That's important. 1v1 court would be dope, just make the gameplay good so it's not just like post scores. 4s, we didn't get that this year, and maybe even a 5v5 court. Now, they could bring back the rec center. In fact, drop a like right now if you want the rec center to come back. If you haven't dropped a like, drop a like if you want the rec center to come back. Maybe put a 5v5 court in 1 or 2 of the parks. Like maybe one of the parks could have a 5v5 court, 2 of the parks could have a 4v4 court, stuff like that. Or they could even put the rec center in the DLC. Like they will sell a lot of those. Technically there was no rep system, but we had like double XP this year. We'll just call it double rep next year. We only had that like a couple times, so have that like way more often. Maybe some double VC weekends. We can even have double badge progress. Like that would be dope as well. And then finally, we should have like objectives or challenges. Right now we have like accolades. Nobody really goes for them, but it should be like Fortnite. You have a new set of challenges every week. You have some daily challenges too. Maybe you have some rep challenges, and you will get rewarded maybe with rep, maybe with VC for completing the challenges. That would be dope, man. But that's about it for the whole list. Like I said, it was a super long list, but I think there was a ton of dope things on here. Hopefully 2K19 puts some of these in their game, because it would honestly be amazing if they did. Let me know if I missed anything in the comment section below. I tried to think of everything I could. Make sure you guys smash that like button down below if you haven't already, man. Let's try to hit those 500 likes. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe for more great quality content and to join the family. We're on that 100K grind, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.